I pretty much self-fund with cash.
I can relate. I remember the days in the 90s going to Port Orchard because houses were more affordable there.
I mean, it's really hard to find anything these days. And, I plan to scrap around the MLS. And, I got this house after, 6 previous offers on other houses all over the place. So it's not easy.
You have the clicker. Do you want to run that?
All right. Okay. So I call this from crack house to cute house. So this was, does this go forward? Or does that go backwards?
Apparently you turn.
There we go.
I'll drive.
Okay, you drive. So this was a short sale, and I've been staying away from short sales because my realtor said, it takes months and months and months to get a short sale. And I'd actually seen this house on sale for like a long time. It was actually vacant for 2 years. But finally I came along, and there wasn't anything in the market. So I made an offer on it for only $111K. I said, okay, we can try that. So in January, they raised the price to $120K, which is something that can happen in a short sale, because you sign the contract and then it's like, they can do whatever the heck they want, raise the price. So, and, there basically has to be, the only way this house could possibly get out of this situation is for someone to just stick out there with a bag of money and just say, okay, I'll keep on paying. But finally, in February, the deal was approved. And so I had a couple options. The first one is plan A was just to attempt to wholesale this thing. And so I tried to just kind of actually sell to you guys. But I didn't really was able to do that. I had a very short time, and probably I wouldn't have been able to assign it anyways. I would have to bought it and then gone through another closing. But in any case, I got possession on March 8th. So next slide here. So is this mic working?
Yep.
All right. So I got the house, and basically I had to break into my own house. They had secured the house. They had screwed the doors shut. Someone had cut the lock, the lock box off the front, and so there was no keys. So basically I had to unscrew the doors and spend 3 hours in the rain just trying to break into my own stupid house. Finally I had to take the door off the hinges because it was mounted backwards, and I got into my house 3 hours later. Okay, so I bought the house. I had a previous inspection, professional inspection that I could see, and it looked everything matched up. Looked like the plumbing and the electricity was still there. So, but it was an exciting day to have the water and the electricity turned on. And so the guy from the Everett comes over. He says, "Turn on the water." Say, "Okay, turn on the water. But if I come screaming out, be ready to turn it off really fast." But no, we turned on the water and the electricity, and everything held. So yeah, okay. Then I had to clear out the homeless encampment there because a lot of, all the local residents have used this house for the past 2 years as their home. And there are a lot of needles and stuff to clear out, and just, you don't want to know what happened in the bathroom. And there's just all kinds of stuff in the garage. And so it was like $700 to just haul stuff. I used Dump It. So they did a pretty good job for me. They're a little bit cheaper than the other guys. And I also installed a Simple Safe security in there for $200. It's 15 months monitoring, so that is a monitored system. And I know that if the alarm goes off, the Everett police do show up very quickly. How do I know? Because I left the window open. And 4 a.m. I got a call from Simple Safe, and then 10 minutes later I got a call from the Everett police saying, "Yeah, someone's in your house. Would you like to come over and take a look?" But I came over, and they went through the window, and apparently they went back the same way, and didn't change anything. So I had a lot of tools and stuff in there. So the alarm did work. So the major rehab items here was mostly cosmetic, nothing that really required a permit. I had a Home Depot carpet, and they had a free install offer, so that was like $1,000. So my philosophy when I'm doing my rehabs is that, if I have to replace something, I'm going to put in, very high quality. So even though that $259 is still pretty cheap, and that's like a 79 ounce. This is really thick carpet on 6-pound pad. So then I also tried putting the vinyl plank flooring, which was a lot easier because you don't have to put underlayment in. It just goes right on top. It's easy to cut. That was $500. Now my biggest deal was that I replaced my entire countertop for only $75. Because I went to Home Depot, and you know that melamine countertop that costs like $175 for a big piece of that, they're selling for like $35. I don't know what the deal was, but I think that was God telling me you have to replace your countertops. And then I had to replace some cabinets, and I hired out for some stuff, some painting. I had the front of the house painted professionally because I just didn't want to get up on the ladder and do that part. And my garage. But I did like the rest of it. I had to really refinish my bath, and I put in the shower panel. I'll show you a picture of that. I got that from like Robin Thompson. He always wants to put some wow feature. I had a driveway grab. I'll show you that. I put in new doors, and the installation for doors costs as much as the door themselves. But the guy did a good job. The people that I got referred to from was HomeAdvisor.com, so I've actually done a couple of jobs by getting referrals off of them. So they've been great so far. And so here's the before. Lovely house, rotted steps and stuff like that. So that's before. So the next is our after. So here, lovely blue house there. I actually copied the color from my current house.
Franklin, was that a post and pier foundation, or is it an actual concrete?
No, that's a post and pier foundation.
Okay.
There are a lot of questions on the inspections on that. So, but it was perfectly fine in the end. Okay, so that's the garage. And you see it's all overgrown there. And then the next picture. So I put in a gravel driveway. I was actually trying to hide, there's like this really, really bad walkway. It's all concrete walkway, it's all busted up. So I just buried it under 3 or 4 inches of gravel. Solved that problem. And so this is the kitchen. It's had this really bad tile countertop. And then next, so there's my new countertop, $75 countertops. My new cabinets are on the right. The refrigerator was actually in that spot there, this gigantic refrigerator. But so doing that, got some more space. And this is like the bathroom. This is like an old cast iron tub that's got this weird surround in it. The finish is horrible, it's rusty. But what I did is I did refinish that with just $25 tub refinisher from Amazon. And it actually turned out pretty well. Redid the tile, repainted everything, so everything actually looks okay there. So here's the laundry room, and I don't know why they painted the top pink. But I saved the appliances. Repainted it white. There's the refrigerator there. So my flooring there is this African wildwood, which was kind of a risky choice, but it turned out pretty cool, I thought. And so this is one of the smaller bedrooms, actually about the size of the closet. And the next picture, so fixed that up, stuck an armoire in there I got for free from Craigslist. This is an example. This is like the door that's broken off at the bottom, and the floor is terrible. So the next picture is, I didn't refinish these floors. I just restained the parts were really bad, and I put this like $18 floor refinisher on it. It's some kind of light polyurethane. So this is the master bedroom. And there's like built-in closets. So this put in my wonderful new carpets. I had to paint the highlights around there. And what's the next picture? So this is like an example of my punch list. This is how I keep track of what has to be done. So I have all these things. I have the number of hours, and I projected forward the number of dates because I was really trying to shoot for a July completion on this thing. So next. So I did list on July 13th. So this was 4 months to get this ready since I busted into the thing. And I did it working on part-time and weekends. And I commuted from Everett to Bellevue. I would basically live there like half the time. I would stay overnight and commute using the bus. So I listed for $219, and I did get my first offer in 5 days, and for $223, which would have been great. I mean, this is a fantastic Redfin offer, and the buyer wrote me this beautiful letter and all this stuff. But on inspection, they just like back out. They don't give me any chance to fix anything. They just they won't tell me what's wrong with the house. I even offered $100 to buy inspection report on them, and they won't, but they just back out and disappear. So the second offer I get, I make sure to write in that they give me the inspection report for $206, but yet these people also back out at the inspection report and don't tell me what's wrong. And I look at the inspection report and there's nothing big on it, nothing. I think they just flaking out on the inspections. So I don't know why that is. I'm kind of discouraged on that. But in any case, so I go take that inspection. I fix all those bunch of these little things like strap the water heater and fix the little electrical things and blah, blah, blah. Wrap the pipes, whatever. Do some more work underneath the crawl space. That's probably one thing I would have done differently because I did a lot of work on the crawl space and I should just let clean crawls redo the whole thing for $3,000. But, so I get my third offer for $209 and we get a bank rejection because of a zoning problem. That, apparently they think they might not be able to rebuild a house on it if it burns down because it doesn't meet current zoning. So I have to work with the city of Everett. There's a thing you can do. Get that done. Finally, I got my fourth offer because my real estate agent had another deal, another person ready to go. Finally, we completed that sale. So the sale took a lot longer than I thought. I thought selling this house would be just like falling off a log and it wouldn't take anything, but 90 days later it's done. But the cost of the house was $121. The cost of renovation is $19,000, half of which was basically the roof. The sales price was $195. Selling cost $17,000. Net from the sale $177. So I make $36,000. So I expected to make a little bit more. Usually I try and plan about $50,000, but hey, that's not bad.
So you do your own renovations for the most part?
A lot of it, like I don't do things like carpets and roofs, but I could have done the doors, but it's just like I did the one interior door that took like maybe 16 to 20 hours to replace a pocket door, and it's like this guy did both doors in like 4 hours. So,
wow.
In fact, it took me longer to paint the stupid door than for him to put the door in.
Well, let's open it up. We have some questions in the audience.
Yeah.
I don't need a mic. Two questions. If there were homeless people squatting inside the house, how were they getting in when you had to break in?
Well, they broke in earlier, like during those 2 years, and then between the time that I put it under contract, they had screwed all the doors shut so that absolutely no one could get in, including me.
Okay, so it's not like they were already in the house when you broke in.
No,
okay.
They had been trying very hard to get rid of the people who were living in the house. It was like someone who was like living underneath the house, but by the time I got there, it was all screwed shut.
Okay, and then my second question is, do you know approximately how many man hours you had into the project?
Well, I estimated maybe 4 months. It would be like every evening 4 hours, maybe 3 or 4 nights a week plus the weekend. So I figured at $36,000, if I worked all those hours, I made about $4.5K per month. May have worked out to be something like $50 or $60 an hour for my time. And so, like the other brothers said, it's a second job. So, but hey, I don't mind making an additional $36,000 this year.
Let me ask you though, is that your game plan? Or the next one you do going to be the same idea, or are you going to use your capital instead of your brawn on future projects?
Well, like I always have to try out doing something myself, like fixing the crawl space. So, really nasty. I would hire out for that again if I ever run into that situation. But I kind of do this to kind of keep myself busy. It's kind of my hobby, so I don't mind spending the time.
Any other questions? Yes, over here, sir.
Can you elaborate on the zoning issue?
Well, there's apparently, the house was built with like zero clearance on the lot lines. Now, I don't know how is it that the bank went through all of the Everett zoning laws and, finally figured out that we're violating one of those both zoning laws, because you have to dig like paragraph after thing to find out that, that we're violating that zoning law. And then you have to just do this certification for rebuild or whatever, and it's like $120. You have to draw out the property and blah blah blah, and we got that all signed up, just before we closed the deal. So thanks to the city of Everett for doing that.
And
But it was just, I didn't like that, my third offer is like, they knew what they needed to do in order to get the house, but they just decided not to do that, right? I could have kept that offer, but they just decided to just back out and claim that, financing fell through. Even though, if we would just waited a little bit, we would have been able to fix that.
Well, thanks for sharing. That was awesome. Congratulations.